How are y'all feeling about our trip this week? I thought I'd go ahead and hop on and make a video to show you how to pack your backpack. Let's go ahead and get started.
All right, so the first thing you're gonna wanna start with is your backpacking backpack. Something that's really important is that the weight, you want the heaviest things to be closest to your back. You don't want it at the bottom and you don't want it at the top. A good and balanced backpack is able to stand straight up on its own. So that's gonna be the goal for today. Most backpacks have this little bottom piece, which kind of separates some of your heavier things from the rest of your backpack. And there's a little compartment that also can unzipper so you can get to all of it. In this case, we're gonna leave it zipped up, and this is where you're gonna throw your sleeping bag and potentially your sleeping pad, depending on the kind you have. So let's go ahead and do that now. So this is my sleeping bag, and it's in a stuff sack, but I can get this baby a whole lot smaller. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Is my sleeping pad. Some of you have sleeping pads that look like this. These are called cell foam sleeping pads. They're really light and they work really well. And some of you might have inflatable sleeping pads. These ones get a little cushy and they start kind of small. These ones you're going to want to put either on the side of your backpack or the bottom of your backpack. I'm going to be taking this one with me, so I'm going to go ahead and put this on the inside middle section of my backpack. For most of us, the heaviest thing is going to be our water. You're going to want to make sure you have about 3 liters of water to each apart. I highly recommend purchasing a water bladder if you haven't already, but other lightweight water bottles will work perfectly. For example, like a Smart water bottle or an Arrowhead handheld plastic disposable is perfect for refilling out on the trail. Water bottles you wouldn't want to bring would be something heavy like a Hydro Flask. As much as I love having this guy with me, it's going to add so much weight and I'm really going to regret it. The water bladder is going to slide right into the back of my backpack. There's going to be a little hook that this goes through, and the straw actually feeds all the way through the shoulder straps. So let's get that set up. So my little sleeve is right on the inside of the top of my backpack. And it comes out this little hole right here. I can go ahead and pull this straw all the way through. And then I'm looking for one more sleeve to secure my straw. It's going to be on one of your shoulders. This is going to keep the hose from getting dirty or in the way when I'm hiking. Now that the water's all set, let's go ahead and move on to clothes. It turns out the forecast is cold and rainy. You're going to want to bring a whole lot of layers, but ones that don't take up too much room. A great staple to have on your trip is a lightweight fleece. Because of the material, this is going to keep me nice and cozy when the temperatures start to drop. I'm also bringing a set of base layers, or long underwear, something to keep me warm underneath my clothes so that when the temperatures drop at night, I'm nice and cozy. Mine are both made out of Smart wool, or wool, and it's a natural fiber that keeps you dry and warm. If you don't have this, something like a warm sun shirt, a long sleeve shirt that's not too bulky, or leggings would be great for this trip. Don't forget extra pairs of socks. There's a good chance our feet get wet and you're gonna need to switch them out. I'm using Smart wool hiking socks that keep your feet nice and warm and dry. I'm gonna throw all of that into a clean pillowcase to keep my clothes nice and organized, and also because it allows me to lay my head on something at night. Now that I have my clothes all packed up in my pillowcase, I'm going to try and see if I can find a good spot for them to go in my backpack. The places that would be ideal would be the very bottom of the backpack where we stuffed our sleeping bag, or along the front and center of the backpack. Because it's going to rain, I highly recommend having some kind of waterproof layer if you have one laying around at home. This is a nice lightweight waterproof shell that's going to allow me to stay dry even if it starts to rain.
Some people have lightweight hiking rain jackets. This is a cool jacket I got a long time ago. It's great for hiking. It has reflective lining, which means it's gonna keep me nice and warm. And the best thing is it rolls up nice and... Let's go ahead and talk about some things you're not gonna wanna bring with you on the trail. This is my Marin Horizon hoodie. It's so comfy and warm, but I'm not gonna wanna bring this on the trail. It's kind of heavy, there's a big giant hood, it doesn't fold up easily, and it's gonna take up space. Along the same lines, these are my bulky sweats. They're my favorite to come into after a long day, but I'm not gonna wanna bring these on the trail. They just take up way too much space, and they're heavy.
Let's talk about some other trail necessities. I'm gonna wanna bring a beanie for at night when the temperatures start to drop. And I'm also gonna wanna bring some kind of sunshade or cap to protect me during the day. I like to clip my sunshade on the outside of my backpack so it's easy to grab, and I'll tuck this on one of the side pockets. Can't forget your headlamp. This is what's gonna allow you to have some freedom at night so that you can get all the things you need to do, and you can even hang it on your tent as a little lantern. I like to put this on a side pocket so that it's easy to get at all times. These little waist belt pockets are the perfect shape for your headlamp. Another thing, in the event of an emergency, your teachers are carrying around first aid kits that'll have all the gear we need to keep you guys safe. We just got a few more things to put in and we're almost ready to go. We're also all carrying satellite devices that would allow us to get help in the event of an emergency. I'm gonna hang this on the outside of my backpack in a place where anyone could get to it. My first aid kit is gonna go in my brain of my backpack, the very top of my backpack, so I have super easy access. I'm gonna wanna leave as much space as I can at the top of my backpack for any group gear that we might need to distribute, like food, toiletries, and other stuff like that.
Away. Next up is the tent. We're gonna be dividing tents into our groups so that nobody has to carry all of the weight, and instead it's gonna be distributed. How you pack it is really gonna depend on what part of the tent you get. Because I'm carrying a whole tent, I'm gonna opt for either the side of my backpack or the bottom. Because there's a forecast of rain, I'm bringing a backpack rain cover. Some of you might already have these at home, and if you do, you should definitely pack them. If you don't worry about it, we're gonna provide you with an alternative. I do wanna make sure this is easy to get to while I'm hiking in case it starts to rain. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the side of my bag. The last thing I wanna do is secure everything shut so that nothing's jostling on.
All right, let's talk about how to put your backpack on your back. In an ideal situation, you're gonna either wanna do this with a partner or with the help of a tree or rock. Right now, I have my backpack leaning on the table so that it's nice and easy for me to slide my arms in and lift without putting a lot of pressure on my back. You're gonna wanna make sure your hip belt is nice and tight. You want most of your weight to sit on your hips. So once you get it on, you're gonna secure it nice and tight. Then you want this cross piece to fit snug across the top of your chest. This allows you to not lean back when the weight is pulling against you and for everything to be balanced. You don't want... All right, I think I'm ready to go.